Whether you ride toe clips and straps, clipless with bike-specific shoes, platforms with foot straps, or just plain old naked platforms, the pedal setup always feels like a compromise between convenience, comfort, performance, and style. And unless absolutely necessary, I'd rather not compromise when it comes to my bike. I met up with Quoc in their Taipei office back in October, and they gave me an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the thought process that goes behind designing their shoes. They sent me off with a pair of Urbanite Mids to review, and after 6 months of regular use with these shoes, here we are. The Urbanite Mids certainly look like a fine pair of commuting shoes, but for $260, they better be perfect. Now let's find out if the Urbanite Mids are perfect enough to command that hefty price tag. To determine if any compromises were made with the Urbanite Mids, let's take a look at the shoes' design, fit, performance, and durability. As with every review that I do, I am not being paid to make this video. I'm able to do this because of the support that the super subscribers give through Patreon. So you know that this is my 100% honest opinion. With a fixie famous shout out to Mikey Sincox, Mark Van Deventer, Evil Ernie, and Jazeel. The first thing that you'll notice with the Urbanite Mids is the design. These are just a good-looking pair of shoes, cycling specific or otherwise. And it's even more impressive that they are SPD compatible. Quocs are hands down the sharpest looking cycling shoes that I've seen. The Urbanites don't look like cycling shoes. They just look like a nice pair of shoes, which makes them really versatile when it comes to style. They look equally at home with a t-shirt or a button-up. And whether you're going out for a grocery run or you're riding for a full day in the office, the Urbanites will make your outfit look smarter without looking out of place. While other SPD sneakers look just fine in casual settings, I wouldn't be comfortable wearing them in more formal settings like an office, rendering them unsuitable for how a lot of people would use them. The Urbanites, on the other hand, are just on another level of class when it comes to cycling shoes. Constructed of full-grain leather with tight stitching. And Quoc maintains that class with minimal branding, just a reflective logo on the tongue and a stamped logo on the side. And the Urbanites have nice touches for cyclists, with a 3M reflective stripe on the heel, a lace guard on the tongue as do not get your laces caught in your drivetrain, and most notably the recessed mountain bike cleats. The depth of the recessed area is perfect. Cleats don't scrape unless you're walking on really uneven surfaces, but at the same time they're still easy to clip into your pedals. The Urbanite Mids are one of the sharpest looking cycling shoes that I've seen, and the fact that they're SPD compatible makes them supremely convenient for commuters. With the Urbanites, you don't have to leave an extra pair of shoes at your desk. The Urbanites do take some time to get used to wearing. When putting them on for the first time, they were noticeably stiffer than my DZR Midnights. It kind of felt like walking around with blocks of wood glued to my feet, and it'll be especially weird for you if you are coming from regular sneakers. With that said, they're still comfortable enough for walking, and they're pretty easy to get used to after a week of wearing them. The full grain leather is also pretty stiff at first, making them a bit difficult to put on, but once they're broken in, it's not an issue. Just break these shoes in like you would any other pair of shoes. The toe box is also noticeably larger compared to regular sneakers, and yes, it does feel weird at first, but you do get used to it. I tried fitting the Urbanites into extra large toe clips, but they wouldn't fit in completely, and I ended up scuffing them. So unless you don't mind scuffing a nice pair of shoes, I would recommend that you don't use them with toe clips. I use these shoes for weekends full of walking around the city and standing on trains. After a few hours of that, my feet started to hurt, but doy, they started to hurt. These are walkable cycling shoes, not cyclable walking shoes. Fortunately, the Urbanites are very comfortable for cycling. I use these for days of about 50% walking and 50% cycling, and they get the job done and keep my feet happy. I've also used them for a 4-day tour with 60+ mile days and for a 110-mile ride. Again, they got the job done and they kept my feet happy. I haven't noticed any issues with breathability even when riding in humid AF Taiwan. But because they are leather, they aren't the most rain friendly. The leather will absorb water, and if it's raining hard enough, your socks will get drenched. Overall, the Urbanites are okay for walking, but they are excellent for cycling. The real question is, can you have comfort, convenience, style, and performance all in the same shoe? The Urbanites aren't going to be any carbon-soled SPD SL shoes, but they are pretty dang stiff, and they do give a nice feeling of power transfer. Even when I was just riding with these shoes shoes with toe clips and straps, it felt like I needed to go to a bigger gear ratio on my fixed gear. The benefits of the stiff sole is even greater on a clipless setup. Combined with my time attack pedals and on my ride to and through some of the notoriously hilly Bay Area, at no point did I have trouble getting up fairly steep hills with 77.5 gear inches. In layman's terms, I was surprised at the hills that I could climb with these shoes on my fixed gear. Bursts of speed and sprinting also feel easier with the Urbanites, and I now find myself spinning out on the flats on my 77.5 gear inches. For reference, that's about the same as spinning out on a 47-16 ratio on 23C tires. I'm not breaking any land speed records with these shoes, but yes, they do make me faster. With the Urbanites, Quoc somehow balanced the commuter shoe quadfecta of comfort, convenience, style, and performance, but they won't be worth that hefty $260 price tag if they don't hold up well. Again, I don't see the Urbanites as a cycling shoe per se, but I look at them as a nice pair of shoes that happen to fit into my life well. Because of that, I've been wearing them for the past 6 months pretty regularly, regardless if I'm riding a bike or not. The most notable signs of wear are the scuffs on the toe caps, but those are just from me testing them with toe clips and straps. The reflective logos on the tongue peeled off, which is a little disappointing considering this pair of shoes price, but it's really minor and it doesn't affect the functionality of the shoes at all. The reflective strips on the heel are scuffed up a bit and they aren't as reflective as they were out of the box, but again, this is minor since it doesn't affect the functionality at all. Like other leather products, I think that the Urbanites get better with age. The once stiff leather has softened up a bit and is a little bit more comfortable, and it's collecting light marks from regular use, giving it the start to a nice patina. The biggest problem that a lot of people, including myself, have had with SPD sneakers is that the soles will separate from the rest of the shoe. I'm not sure how Quoc constructs their shoes, but the soles are staying put and they aren't showing any signs of separation. Usually at this point in my SPD sneakers life cycle, I start to see glue between the soles and the body of the shoe where they'll eventually fail. Another common problem with other SPD shoes are cracking shanks, which is that stiff lining inside of the sole. These shanks on the Urbanites are holding up much better than the plastic shanks that I've had on other shoes. And it looks like the Urbanites are in it for the long haul and that they'll be giving me class and speed for years to come. Are the Quoc Urbanite Mids worth that hefty $260 price tag? If you like riding clipless for the comfort and the performance benefits, if you like having the convenience of a sneaker, and if dressing smart is important to you, yes, the Quoc Urbanite Mids are absolutely worth that price tag. There's not much that can be better about them, and I think that these are the perfect commuter shoe. Thanks again to the super subscribers that support the channel through Patreon. And because of your generous support, that frees enough time for me to make 2 videos per week instead of 1. And if you've already ridden your bike today, why not reward yourself with another fixed gear video? And if you haven't ridden your bike yet today, stop watching me right now. Life is short, but don't make it shorter, so ride your bike every day to be reasonably dangerous.